Alright. Well, we poured this one yesterday. It's fairly dry outside. I don't know if you can see that. It's so hard to see with the screen. But there's that. Now that's all getting covered with dirt. So I kind of got it so it's high up on this side and it all goes down to here. So it kind of keeps any of the water down. But it'll all be covered with dirt. It's just that's going to end up being a puddle if I didn't do that. So I wanted to make sure that it got away from the house. But the other side, let's get back inside, it's a little easier to see. There we go. So I'll keep the form on. It's been only about, what, 20 hours. I'll keep the form on for 48 hours and I'll take the form off. We're getting ready to do this one. So we had a hole going all the way out there. We covered it up. We put some wood in and covered that hole. I don't know why it went all the way out there, but I don't need that much cement in there. So what we're going to end up doing is pouring some cement down in this hole. And then we have a concrete form, a 12-inch tube concrete form. But the problem with this is that I want more posts. This is to put up posts to jack up the house here. So, but this chimney actually sticks out a little bit right there. And I need that, my LVL beam is 6 inches thick. So that means it's going to come out 3 inches. It's got to be the center of my post. And I can't put the post on that. And I don't want it just sitting on the edge of a concrete form. So I'm going to end up coming in and cementing all the way around this. So we're going to pour some cement down first. Then I'm going to put a form in. And then I'm going to pour that. So I can't use the round concrete form because round would only put my post right on the edge of the round, and I don't want to do that. So I need cement going all the way up against the chimney and coming all the way out to here, and from here to about right here is going to be my form, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in. But the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to sit there and pour some concrete in for a pad on the bottom. I'll stick the form on top of that. I got some rebar that I just did right here to be able to do that. Now this side I'm not too worried about, because let me pull out here a little bit. See, it actually goes all the way back there. And the original idea was to put the LVL beam right up against the front of that chimney. But that would mean that every single one of these floor joists would have to be sistered, because it'd be like lifting toothpicks and they're going to break in half. So we figured out that end of the house is not sinking. It's only from the chimney all the way over to there. That's the end that's actually sinking. So this is what has gone down. So this end right here really has not sunk. So the post really isn't taking on any weight. And I had an engineer sit there and figure it all out for us. And this post is going to hold about 8,000 pounds. So it's not really going to hold too much. So that little piece of rebar and that little bit of concrete, that would be perfectly fine. It's more or less just to keep it still. The next post, which is going to be this one in the center, is going to take on the biggest load, and it's going to go right up through there. We're going to be redoing a little bit of the piping there. That one's going to take on the biggest load. That's going to take on approximately about 19,000 pounds. And then this one over here, we are going to go ahead and use that concrete 12-inch form. And this one's going to take on approximately 12,000 pounds. You think that it's the end, it's going to take on the most, but truthfully it's not. So 2 of those the first top 2 of those block are going to have to come out because we're going to be extending the LVL all the way outside, so we'll be cutting the block, getting rid of them to go all the way out, and we'll figure out how to fix it later. But right now, let's just get it up, and then we'll figure out how to fill it in and keep any rodents and bugs and stuff out. Might have to do that from outside. I gotta also figure out how to keep the LVL from, probably waterproof it or something to keep it from getting any damage from water. I'll think up something out there. But that's that one. And as you see, we got a nice little thing going on here. We got the fact that that's where our sewer pipe goes out, is right there in the corner. So our sewer goes out to here, goes outside right there. So this part we can't put anything over, and I don't want to concrete any of that because if we ever need to get into there, I don't want to be busting concrete. So right about here is where our post is going to go. So we'll knock a little bit of this off and we'll put that round form right there and set the post right in the middle of it. That's the idea. 3 inches out is where the center of the post is going to need to be. We're going to end up having to, I want to show you why this sunk like it did. You zoom in right here, you see all this? All along the bottom of this is brick. And then on top of the brick is block. Well, the brick has spalted over the years of getting wet and everything right there. So it's all spalted, and that's caused the whole thing to sink down. You can see some of the nice little pieces that they did here. That brick's actually okay. That's the original stone foundation, and on top of the stone foundation they put a row of brick, and then on top of the brick is the block. Yeah. Now this brick is actually fine. It is actually above ground, and the part way back there is actually way below ground, so it doesn't get any water. So it's actually been okay right there, and it hasn't changed any, and I'm not going to switch it out or anything. I mean, this has been here for probably a good 40-50 years. So if it hasn't done anything yet, it's not going to. But this over the years has really taken a toll. And that's what we're trying to fix right now. Once we get this wall is not going to be bearing anymore. So later on down the line, we are going to knock the entire wall out and just frame it. We won't need it. We're going to keep the LVL on it at all times, and it'll sit there, and this will be a greenhouse. We'll frame it and stuff. But here, I wanted to show you down here at the bottom. Whoa! There's all the brick underneath the block. As you can see, there's like hardly anything left of it. It just spalled. And that's what's causing it to sink. On top of that, let me go straight all the way up. There's our downspout, and we just put that downspout on. There was no downspout at all. It just went right down to the ground, and so that just got a lot of water. And that's what caused it. I mean, this is why brick is not structural. You do not use brick as structural pieces. And you're saying, well, what about brick houses? There's a total difference. There's like 6 blocks. For every one you see, there's actually 6 on the other side. So that you don't do. You don't use that for foundation work. They should have poured a concrete pad. So that's where we're at now. So in order for us to get a 12-inch pier in here, to put it right here, and 3 inches out from the wall, it has to be the center of my post, and that has to be the center of the pier. So my pier is 12 inches. That means 6 inches. It means diameter, or 6-inch radius from here. So that's 3. That means the pier has got to go 3 inches underneath that wall. So we're going to be digging underneath the wall some to get the pier in 3 inches under. So that way when we do put our post in, it will be right at the center of the pier. Very important, it's at the center. You cannot put it on the end. So you're probably wondering, well, how do I know all this? Well, you know, I work with a lot of engineers. That's what I do. I'm a designer, CAD designer. I've done mechanical, I've done electrical, I've done plumbing. That's what I'm doing now for the oil and gas industry. And although I haven't done any foundation and stuff on mechanical items, you do got to lay a foundation to hold mechanical equipment. So I do know a little bit about rebar, how much rebar, what's the spacing of rebar, how much clearances you need, you know, how to put the rebar in, so on and so forth. And I know approximately how much you need to put in to hold up how many pounds are on there. Remember, this one over here is approximately about, going to be holding about 11 to 12 pounds. This one's the biggest one. It's right around 19,000 pounds. That's why it's such a big concrete pad. The concrete pad is 3 feet by 2 feet. And it goes, we actually wanted to go underneath the wall, and that's what we did. So it is about 3 feet down too. So, I mean, that pad is just going to hold everything. And there's rebar in there. This one, we're going to go about 4 or 5 inches up, flat. Then we're going to put the rebar in there and have it sticking up, and then we're going to put our form. Now, I want to show you what we're using for a form. You know, you don't always have to use, is it in here? Oh. You don't always have to use something that you got to build or anything like that. This is what I got. See that? I ended up buying, we bought new toilets and stuff. And this is really, really thick. Very thick. Cardboard. So, and when you buy a concrete pier form, or round forms, that's all they are. They're just really thick, heavy duty cardboard. So that's what we're doing. And the whole idea is to go like this, like that, and with the back side being the chimney, and I'm going to go ahead and pour, and this is the form that we're going to pour. That way, because remember, from the back I'm going to be 3 inches out, about 6 inches out, so my right about right there is going to be the center of my pole. So I can't have it towards the end, and if I had a pier, it would be right on the end of the pier. So I needed something big enough that's going to take on the weight. And although there's not that much weight on this one, remember, it was only about 8,000 pounds on this side, because all we're really doing is holding it up. You definitely don't want to sit there and put it on the edge of a pier and bust the concrete, because then you're going to have to redo it all. We don't want to do that. This is a one-time deal. Just remember that. One-time deal. That's it. Okay. Well, I wanted to give you an idea where we're at. We're going to start pouring some cement. When we get a few bags in, I'll come back and give you an update where we're at. When I go to put the rebar in, I'll show you where we're at there too. Alright, be back soon.